I think we started the confusion a few years ago, and it's accelerating now that we see so much more need and demand due to the pandemic. So we've heard the word micro-credential a lot in the last few years. And we've heard it inside our own institutions. We've heard it outside the institutions. There's been a lot of drama, a lot of hype, and a lot of shiny object syndrome where people don't really know what it is, but everybody's talking about it. So it must be the big new thing, right? And what I've seen recently is just such intense confusion. And you and I, before this webinar started, we escorted our pets from the room, right? So we've all been in this Zoom environment for 6 or 7 months, as you mentioned, and we've all had that meeting where the pet comes, across the screen, and maybe like you see a little bit of fur in the corner, and then the back arches in front of the person's face while they're talking, and then it moves, and then you got the tail sort of blocking their face on both sides. We've all had that, right? Amrit, I know your cats are scared of you, so they don't do it in your office. We've all seen it. And while the person's speaking, they don't say anything. They don't move the animal. Amrit, if that happened while I was talking, you'd probably say, Tracy, there's something blocking the screen. You could identify it probably as a what? A cat, right? Because only cats are that obnoxious. But whether it was small or big, black or white, had spots, you could identify it as a cat. And when my other pet barks in the background, you can probably identify it as a dog. You wouldn't say, Tracy, the screen is obscured by a micro animal, right? You can identify a cat, you can identify a dog, you can identify a certificate, you can identify a digital badge, because those are animals that we're familiar with. Whether it's a Great Dane or a poodle, you can still identify it as a dog. Now, in our environment today, especially after the pandemic, there are some quickly evolving animals that we may not be able to identify. But if we can identify it, let's call it what it is.